The ego is the system that runs your sense of self. It is made out of thought patterns, emotions, and behavioral loops, and the stories that try to hold it all together. Left unchecked, it creates endless existential searching, chronic disconnection, and the persistent sense that something is wrong. The goal of my videos is clarity, to see your identity and its contradictions for what they are, named precisely, to finally understand what it is that we're all running away from. There's an immense amount of prosperity and peace within you, and I wish I could tell you how horrible my experience of life was every single day. And I know how it's like to believe that there's no possible way you can make peace with your own existence or peace with reality, because reality seems just so obviously evil or obviously overwhelming. Like your life seems too long. Like I remember this feeling of how the hell can existence be so gruelingly long? Like I'm 27 years old now, and I feel like I lived through multiple lifetimes, and I'm not even at the half point of my life. And I remember at the age of 16, 17, being completely full of it. Like, this is enough. Let's end it now. And then it's like, oh no, this actually doesn't stop. It doesn't end. And yeah, this is why I always empathized a lot with people who, wanted to cease their existence, because it seems truly hopeless sometimes. But the ego is the part that tries to convince you that the only way you can find freedom is by, making the body cease. But it's a delusion. It's not how it works. Like the entire framework of wanting to cease is something that should be investigated. Because, what are you really doing there? You are thinking that if you disappear, like your physical body disappears, that existence disappears. And this might be a very bold assumption to make. It might be a very self-focused assumption to make. What you actually want to cease is the ego itself. It's the part of the brain that says, I don't want this to be how it is like right now. I don't want existence to be this. I want it to be something else. And in this way, the ego separates itself from immediate experience and wishes it to be something else. And in some way, it has been adaptive, right? It helped us survive by striving for better position in our social hierarchy and to be identified with how much wealth we have accumulated and how productive we are, or how spiritually awakened we are, or whatever it is that gives you a sense of belonging and connection with your overall world. But to a large extent, this is all still suffering. Like you're still trying to run away from something. And what is it that you're running away from? And what is you're running towards? If everything you do always feels unsatisfying. It's the insatisfaction itself that feels sometimes, or did feel like a necessary part of being a human. Like if you're human, you're supposed to be unsatisfied because this is just how it's like. And you kind of get convinced by seeing how miserable everybody is that this is just how life is like. And it's so important to see that this is not true. Life is not supposed to be miserable. It's not supposed to be grueling. And the social or like societal illness is the collective belief that this is normal. But we have conditioned each other to believe that this is normal. We have conditioned each other to believe that all of humanity is just this endless striving for status and money and resources. And that in order to be somebody important in this world, you need to provide a lot of value for other people. And if you don't provide a lot of value for other people, your existence is basically worthless. There's so much toxicity in how society is relating to itself that, is fueling immense amount of psychological suffering for, almost all individuals. And it's not necessary. The desire for things to be different for what they are and accepting how things are not mutually exclusive. It is very paradoxical, but you can accept something and not be complacent. In fact, you need to accept something in order for it to change. If you don't accept where you are right now, you will not change. Because without acceptance, like without acknowledging where you are right now, how are you supposed to move anywhere? That's also the first step in any like drug rehabilitation program, is that you come there and say, I'm an alcoholic, or I'm addicted to weed, or I have a problem with sex. Like, you need to acknowledge the problem in order to move away from the problem, or like move or transcend the problem. And in the same vein, you need to acknowledge how sick society is and how you've been infected by the sickness. And by seeing it this way, you then might notice, okay, there is actually a way out. There's actually a way to understand my own mind, to not feel this way all the time. And it's not some external material existence that has forced me to be miserable. It's truly myself. And the awakening experience often feels like a huge shock to the sense of self, because now it seems like all the suffering in the mind was self-inflicted, and it feels extremely stupid. And some people never realize how deep they have tortured themselves, because acknowledging that you've done this to yourself feels it feels absolutely ridiculous. It feels so ridiculous and so unfair that all of the suffering that you have had carried in your mind is truly an illusion. Like it feels so invalidating, but it's true. The way this works is that you've had a negative experience, like a traumatic event, and from this one traumatic event, the mind has to protect itself. To build some sort of identity that can move away from this traumatic event. But in doing so, it basically constructs a certain like mechanism with which to relate to other people. For example, you might have been neglected as a child, or your parents have told you that you're only worthy of their love if you accomplish enough in your career. And this was deeply traumatizing in ways you don't really understand. And then your entire life, you're chasing the sense of validation and love from other people. And then after time, you notice that you actually don't really connect with others, because you are just using other people in order to fulfill this need for connection and belonging that your parents didn't give you. And when you notice how much suffering the sense of isolation and loneliness and disconnection caused, you kind of go into it and you notice, okay, this feeling of suffering and pain and all of this, like, this is quite real. Like, there's no denying that this is real. But then also you notice that all this rumination and thinking and looking for something to fix yourself and to fix your environment and to be worthy is a complete fabrication of your mind. It has been installed into you in a way, like it has been caused by somebody or something, but it has been kept alive by you by not introspecting or understanding how deep you lie to yourself and how you keep this search alive. Because if you notice, well, I actually don't need the validation of others. I didn't need the validation of my parents or whoever it might be. And I can truly find the peace within me. Then what have I been doing all of these years? Why have I invested so much energy in my life to find something when I already had it? It feels stupid. It feels very dumb. But it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing to come to the other side, notice how much of it has been an illusion, how much of existential searching is a need to fulfill something that truly already is within you. And it's difficult to communicate this without it sounding like a spiritual platitude, right? Like, you have everything you need already within you. Everything is already perfect. You are already enlightened and existence is perfect just the way it is. Like all of this might be a way to suppress your feelings and suppress your need for introspection and your need for space or your need for love. And this is not the point. There are a lot of needs that want to be fulfilled as a human. And in some way, there are certain needs that will never go away until you fulfill them, until your karma exhausts the curiosity for the thing. Like if you are very addicted to a substance, for example, you'll want to quit if you don't feel exhausted from the substance. Like it's very difficult. Like why would you suddenly stop something that feels like it's serving you? The only way you stop it is if you notice, okay, this isn't serving me anymore. I want to do something else. If you're experiencing a strong shift in your sense of identity, often caused by a breakup or a failure in your career or some other intense event, then it's a huge opening for healing and for understanding. I actually don't like the narrative of healing that much. Like I tend to avoid it in my work because healing implies that there's something fundamentally broken. And I don't think that is the right framework. But in a certain sense, you have wounds that need healing. And oftentimes what it needs is to open them up a bit further and then let it all flow through. Let the medicine of your own awareness shine through and heal the wounds. And there is a way that I can facilitate this for you. And it depends on where you're at in your journey, if this is something that, you need right now. And in order to notice if you're ready for like such a transformation or like your understanding of yourself, I recommend you read the page about my ego architecture audit in the description below. And then you can see if this might be something that is what would fuel your development right now. This is really the point of all my work. It's to show people how much their own identity can shift and their relationship to reality can change. And it requires courage. It's not something that is a joke, because it's a lifetime we're talking about. And like we have established, a lifetime is a very, very, very big deal. It's a long thing. But it's why it's so worth to do. It's so worth to understand yourself and transform whatever has been corrupted in your own psychology, in your own mind. Because it's really not worth it to live a life full of suffering when prosperity and peace are available to you.